Welcome to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Today, we'll show you how to use the spirit of love and self-worth to improve the connections with everyone else in your life. This program is your weekly gift, and it will keep on giving. You'll see. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jean Marie Farish.
Greetings and a hearty welcome, everyone. I hope you're all faring well. I'm Dr. Jean Marie, your Love Light host, coming to you from the Voice America Empowerment Channel, shining love light into your hearts and homes to empower your life with love. Thanks to our listeners worldwide who tune in live and on demand. We have a fantastic show today, Soul Statements with love coach Corey Folsom. True human connection is central to our existence and well-being. In an article, The Importance of Human Connection by Dr. John Delany, he states, we communicate without talking. We fight without throwing a punch. We celebrate milestones with tiny digital hearts and thumbs up emojis. And as our digital interactions skyrocket, the data shows we're losing real human connection. In 2019, 3 in 5 Americans described themselves as lonely, and this was before the pandemic collapsed our social lives. Loneliness is still an epidemic. What contributes to loneliness? Lack of social support, infrequent, meaningful interactions, negative feelings about oneself and about personal relationships, the stress of disconnection that impact mental health and well-being. Yet, as Dr. Delany states, human connection is not perfect and comfortable. And quotes, for your closest relationships, I like to sum it up this way. Human connection is being fully known and fully loved. I just love that. So, is human connection becoming a natural and lost sacred art? I contend that in order to fully love others, one must fully love oneself. Feelings of loneliness is fed by external conditions that reinforce negative thoughts, experiences, feeling unloving, unlovable, not good enough, unworthy, that sums up how we really feel about ourselves. Yet, we struggle to have partnerships and relationships on the surface without true intimacy that builds the bonds of love. But it takes work and practice, true introspection, self-reflection to discern who we think we are as opposed to who we truly are. So with this being said, how can we improve the connection with ourselves that improves our connection with others? And our guest today, love coach Corey Folsom, shows us how to enhance intimacy, not only with ourselves, but with all of life. To create healthy connection, challenging us to give more love, to nourish intimacy and engage in successful, heartfelt communication and interactions with presence, attention, care, and compassion. To be more confident and graceful in our communication that enhances feelings of belonging, being seen and heard, but it begins with you first. Corey shows us how to return to who we truly are with self-empowering soul statements. He says life is a process of returning to one center again and again and to step into a deeper, freer version of you. Corey was a professional tracker, Aboriginal skills teacher, wilderness guide for newly sober people, and a vision quest leader. He's a certified Tantra educator, certified NLP practitioner, love and relationship coach who assists persons from all over the world to increase the soulfulness, clarity, and ease with which they can experience life. And he does this by utilizing body-centered awareness, assessing one's inner wisdom, applying better communication skills, and asking really good questions. Corey is the author of Soul Statements, a love coach's guide to successful communication. So now, without further ado, I present our outstanding guest, Corey Folsom, on our show today, talking about soul statements. Welcome, Corey, to Love Light.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jean. Happy to be here.
Well, thank you so much. And I just would like to share with listeners how much I am really enjoying reading your book, Soul Statements. It's so practical, self-inspirational, and self-empowering. So I thank you for that. So, Corey, tell us a little bit about yourself. You've had quite a fulfilling journey. And please share your spiritual soul awakening.
Yeah, so I was always, what you would consider a good person. I was, an Eagle Scout, and I wanted to be, an upstanding person and with integrity. But I didn't have a great modeling or idea of, what that meant in, minute by minute practicality. And so my early intimate relationships were defined by poor patterns, definitely less than optimal communication skills. And as a young man, I just didn't speak up for my needs. I shrank from my exuberance, my certainty. And I just wondered often why life wasn't responding with awesomeness to such a nice guy as me. And so fast forward a couple decades, and at some point I just had to decide enough was enough. I had to be better. And so I participated in personal development courses. I hired a love coach. He was somebody that had already gotten to where I wanted to be in terms of intimacy with self and using your voice in a clear, compassionate fashion, both internally to yourself and with others. And so he was the perfect person to, lift me up and point me in good directions. But basically, as I became willing to tell the truth to myself, my life improved. So in other words, what was my actual motivation for doing that thing or not doing that thing, and just being honest with what I was about. And that's when I can make those internal changes, when I'm being that kind of honesty. So
that is beautiful. And Corey, your story, the poor patterns that we all kind of had, the self-doubt, lack of confidence, shyness, not being able to speak up for ourselves is a plight that so many share. And I personally commend you for seeking help, because, that may be an issue for people, not, really seeking help. And you explored quite a number of resources. And here you are now, your breakdown became breakthrough, and you are a coach. And we are grateful for your book and the services that you offer. So, Corey, what is healthy love, and what has been your experience of the prominent issues that you see in terms of love and relationship issues?
Yeah, well, healthy love begins with honoring your own needs, and it comes from, it's, you want to make the other person's experience important to you. In other words, if your partner is, celebrating something, or they're in distress in some way, whatever's going on with them, that's important to me. Their inner world is need to know information. I need to know if I'm negatively affecting them by my tone of voice or by something I didn't do. And so it's going into love relationship with the attitude of, I'm not necessarily the most important person in the room. And what do I want to give? How do I want to live in love versus, I'm going into this to get something. But rather going into co-creating and what I can, and connecting with what I can offer this other person to help light them up and improve their experience.
That's beautiful because, many are in loveless marriages and, a lot of relationship issues, perhaps blaming the other for not meeting needs. And what is your take on perhaps these inner childhood wounds and, the neediness or the expectation that a partner can satisfy all of your needs?
Yeah. We each have a relationship such as it is with that young person who we once were, our, call it your inner child, but that person with those questions and feelings and trying to figure stuff out, they didn't just abandon you. They're just still there somewhere. And I found it very helpful to check in and feel that young man and what he's afraid of and what he's yearning for, and to kind of parent my own inner child. And that's been very, very useful to just develop a little bit of a relationship. And sometimes I've even written a letter saying, hey, I know these were stuff that was going on. These were some challenging experiences, and I want you to know that I made it through, and I'm empowered, and I'm in a good place. And so that seemed healing to me, to write that letter back.
Yes, because the wounds of abandonment, rejection, they go back a long ways. And of course, your strategies, of course, you have a lot of wonderful soul statements, but that letter to the inner child can really be, offer a lot of self-introspection that can be healing. Do you find that there are people really can't face themselves when it comes to really confronting those wounds?
Well, yeah, sometimes it's harder. And what I found also incredibly helpful is I went to a workshop specifically about learning to love yourself. And what I learned was that loving yourself begins with loving yourself even when you don't want to. And even that was too big of a jump for me. And so I had to personally start with accepting myself. And so, I accept that I acted this way. I accept that I felt fearful or unsure. And just that self-acceptance then was able to transition into compassion, self-compassion, and self-love and appreciation for what I've, made it through.
It's like daring to go deep within yourself and confronting those issues. And I think sometimes it may require the support of a coach, a love coach like yourself, relationship coach, to really, deal with those issues that may be hard to, confront by yourself.
Yeah. And so with soul statements, those are things that you can, you discover what's true about you, and then you can pull out a soul statement to counteract some unhelpful thoughts. Say, for instance, you could just say, my heart is a trusted guide, and use that as a statement from your soul to reaffirm, what, I'm resourced. I have a true and strong heart. It's good. My heart is a trusted guide.
Yes, those soul statements can shift us, right, to more self-inspirational and self-empowering thoughts that can change our mood and really, ease the pain of what we're dealing with and reaffirm who we truly are.
Absolutely. I like to call a soul statement a present time reminder of what is true and good and unchanging about yourself. So
wonderful.
That way, the answers are in your center. Your answers are in your center. My answers are in my center. And so the answers are there. It's just if we stay up in our mental exercise, that we don't always get to that center place. So I'm a big fan of spending quiet time to just be with yourself, to that intimacy, that honesty, that resting in your own heart and your own strength. And that's where the soul statements can get created. So, and then you can have something like, say, I can call upon the grit inside me. My soul knows what to do. And so you can kind of script in advance how you're going to speak to yourself when you have those unhelpful thoughts, which it just happens. And sometimes I actually will give a little smirk of, a little funny smile and go to myself and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm, thinking this catastrophic thought again. And then I'll actually say, in my mind, that's so funny, I'm still thinking that. What's actually true is, and then declare my soul statement. I can trust my deep knowing to guide me. My body knows how to heal itself. There is a strength in my center. So that's how I use the soul statements.
Beautiful. And as we talk about intimacy, and intimacy builds bonds of love. Intimacy is nourished by connection and trust. And we know a lot of times people are with their partners or in situations where they feel lonely or not being heard or understood or whatever. What's your thoughts about enhancing intimacy? And I know we're going to go through an exercise in the next segment, but what is your thought? Because people are seeking that intimacy.
Yeah. And, intimacy is supported by a lot of skills, and luckily they're learned skills or learnable skills. So slowing down is a great one. Just not rushing through a conversation or a connection and just or thinking ahead to what you're going to say, but just being as present as possible for this moment, for this interaction as it's happening, life as it's happening. And so, and that kind of slowing down, and if you feel any kind of distress or worry kind of bubble up, I like to do what I call practicing speed to empathy. How rapidly can I offer my heart, confirmation and consolation, and just remember, I'm lovable. My heart is beautiful, and just offer yourself that. And if you can remember your own beautiful heart first, then you're better able to, not have something to prove or a point to make with this other person, but just, I'm secure. I have a beautiful heart, and that's okay. And you can just listen for the other person's beautiful need and what's important to them. And a soul statement might be, as my serenity increases, I can hold circumstance more lightly.
I love it.
What's right about me is always available.
So we ask our listeners to hold on to that soul statement. We're going to take a brief commercial break, so don't go away. We'll be right back with soul statements with our love coach, Lyon Folsom. He's the certified NLP practitioner, certified tantra educator, love relationship coach. We have so much more to talk about. He's the author of Soul Statements, a love coach's guide to successful communication. So stay tuned for more. Corey's going to give us a beautiful meditation when we return in our second segment. We'll be right back.
Announcing Dr. Jean Marie Farish's new book, Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations. This is the companion piece to Dr. Farish's best-selling book, Living in the Spirit of Love, Our Natural State of Being. Through the new book, we invite you to cultivate a lifestyle of love through daily devotional practices over a 21-day period, following 9 ingredients in the recipe of love. Love Mastery Devotion Journal, 21-day weekly prompts and affirmations is available on Amazon.com and Balboa Press.
Jean Marie Farish's Center for Conscious Loving, LLC, cultivates a lifestyle of love and wholehearted connections through personal growth, altruistic services, and speaking engagements. Resources include classes, workshops, life care coaching, and creative service projects with an emphasis on cultural arts. Visit the website at drjeanmariefarish.com. drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. That's drjeanmariefarish-consciousloving.com. Or click the link on the Love Light show page.
Best-selling authors international, news honors best-selling authors around the globe. Dr. Jean Marie Farish is featured in the newly released issue of Published magazine. To have first access to this treasured resource, go to publishedmagazine.com. Vicki Winterton and Dr. Jean Marie Farish have compiled a dynamic book, We're All in This Together, Embrace One Another, an anthology with 24 highly diverse co-authors who share how to spread the message of love, resilience, inclusivity, and compassion. This book is an invaluable source of uplifting, inspiring, and positive insights for spreading positivity in the world. We're All in This Together, Embrace One Another is available on Amazon.com. Be sure to get your copy today.
I'm Judy Satori. I'm a spiritual channel and activator of human potential. You might have heard me speaking on the Voice of America on Dr. Jean Farish's show, Love Light, because I've been speaking about the challenges that are besetting all of us right now and how we can surrender but also keep on going. I want to invite you to join my new Facebook group that is devoted to heart-centered connection and unity. Through this Facebook group, you can also join my free access question and answer session with Spirit on the first Wednesday to Thursday of every month. Just search Ascension Community on Facebook to join the group. In this session, I answer questions and transmit energy from Spirit to give you guidance and support. Because life on planet Earth ain't easy right now, and there is so much help from above, from beings of love and light, from multidimensional realities who are actually here with us, wanting to step up and support us. I welcome you to become part of our ongoing group conversation about evolutionary change and how it's affecting us as human beings and affecting our life today. Many blessings to you. You can find out more about me and my work at www.ascensionlibrary.org. Have a wonderful day.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You are tuned in to Love Light with Dr. Jean Marie Farish. Feel free to connect with our program through email or check out our links on Facebook. Reach Jean at Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. That's Jean72Farish@yahoo.com. And now, back to Love Light.
Well, welcome back to Love Light, living in the spirit of love. If you're just joining us, we are with our outstanding guest, love coach Lyon Folsom, on our show today, showing us how to improve and enhance our communication with soul statements. Corey is a certified NLP practitioner, a certified Tantra educator, and an outstanding love coach. So in our first segment, Corey talked about his experience, what led him to really search for the love within himself, and to really move toward what he's doing today as an outstanding love coach. And Corey, in this next segment, you're going to talk a lot about what self-love and self-care. So take it away.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Jean. Yeah, so we're talking about some of my favorite subjects, which I love. And I wanted to touch on self-care and how important that is. Our everyday routines can powerfully align us with our own self-image. So in other words, if I'm getting on my exercise, my form of exercise, whether it's a treadmill or a bicycle or whatever, I can think to myself or that people like me do this thing. They keep these type of commitments to themselves. So it could just be, brushing your teeth. And that's a commitment I have to myself. I do it every morning and every night. And so it's like a little small promise that you're making and keeping. And the more we attend to our mental and emotional well-being, the more we're able to have something to offer other people. I like to call self-care as soul care. And as we practice doing good things for ourselves, with these rituals that we want to, a lot of times we say, oh, I should do that more often. Well, as you do it more often, whether that's just being quiet in front of a little home altar, or just spending time contemplating, breathing love in, breathing light in, and just relaxing yourself, that it becomes a habit, and the habit becomes who you are. And at some point, it's not a practice so much as it's just what you do and how you are. You're not practicing so much. So I have a soul care. I have a soul statement I like to think of with this, which is my self-care allows me to be more present. And one of the benefits of specifically the contemplation meditation is that each one of you has a deep knowing that lives down inside. And the good news is it's always available, but you have to intentionally tap into it, into that center place, that inner wisdom, that essence of who you are and why you are and how you are. And so another soul statement might be, my inner alignment is always available. And so I like to think of it as balancing the momentum of the world with inner stillness. And what I find is that as I contact my own essence, as I'm more anchored to who I am with that way, I can broadcast on my own frequency. And so it's like when I find Corey, I want to keep him. I want to be all Corey all the time, more and more. And so I like to say that time spent meditating, cultivating your spirit is never lost. It's not wasted. It's just, even if you think, well, I'm not sure I got anything out of it, it's a good thing. And even journaling, some people really prefer journaling, which is awesome. And I like to think of it as a source of spirit water. It's like you're dipping down into the well of what's going on inside you, and drinking that essence, that spirit water of who you are. And then especially with journaling, if you're just doing it as a practice, you can just allow the knowing of your spirit to just bubble up. You just keep going, and it's amazing what will come up, that kind of wisdom that you don't even know you had, but oh, look what I just wrote.
Yes, that's beautiful. I love that analogy, the visual spirit water within. It's like it's self-cleansing, when we tap into that ever-present source that's deep within ourselves. And those soul statements really help us anchor into that love within ourselves.
Yeah.
And Corey, as we talk about, and I know you're going to take us through the exercise, meditation, but a lot of issues dealing with complaining and expecting. That can be a way of getting attention seeking. That's cannot be healthy. What's your take on that as we before we move into your meditation?
Well, in my experience, that when a person is complaining or being critical of another person, it just kind of makes things a little more tight. and on edge. And so one of the things I recommend in my book, Soul Statements, is a complaint fast. And, and, you can maybe even try to insert a compliment when before you would have offered a critique. And it's just really, really helpful. Just getting rid of the little complaints is actually huge. And it might be helpful to remember that your partner volunteered for the position. They weren't drafted as your partner. They're not under this, oppressive contract that they have to just listen to everything you say and whatever.
Yes.
And so, but, beyond the fasting complaint, just being curious. I call it curious without critique. So, this other person, they didn't have your childhood dynamics. They didn't have your body. They didn't have your concerns or challenges or fears or capabilities. They just had a different experience. And so if they reacted in a certain way or said a certain thing that you wouldn't have, that's because they're not you. It's not because they're wrong or defective. They've had their experience. And so this is how they've learned to move through life. And so much more helpful to just say, I hear what you said, but I'm not sure what you mean. And what you're saying is important to me. And so I'm wondering if you could maybe explain that a little bit, because I'm not sure I understand, or just that curiosity is really helpful. Yeah.
I love that, because sometimes you step over the issue and move straight to the complaint. And I love what you're saying, really, be in tune and be, have that interest to understand what's really being communicated here.
That's right. And when I talked a little bit about this in the last segment, but I just want to return to you feel that tension rising, like, oh, my partner's saying or doing something that, I'm not in agreement with, or I disagree with, and you're like, oh, I feel a tension in my body now.
Yes.
Just breathe love in, offer love to your own heart and go, it's okay. I have a beautiful heart. Breathe that love in, and then just be less defended and defensive. And because no matter what you argue about, it matters how you argue. And if you can just slow down, especially if you're what I call emotionally sunburned, like, oh, we've been through this before and it's touchy, just to slow down, and you could tune in to your center with a soul statement. When I trust love, I can handle whatever happens. And if you don't know what to say or do, or if you think, oh, it's going to be inappropriate if it comes out that way, just offer more of you and just go back to being curious. And when in doubt, ask. And just, I'm not sure I understand. Could you say that again differently? But if you've slowed down, you've offered your own heart a little bit of love, you're better able to just be more, not rushing to saying something that isn't helpful.
Yes, and saying things that you'll regret and creating that friction,
Yes.
Yeah, that's hard to really resolve, and it builds on, everything we say builds on the next. And you talk a lot about, offering ourselves and the deposits, I love in your book where you talked about, keep making deposits into your emotional bank.
Yes.
And acting out badly is making a withdrawal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Cora, well, tell us about the meditation you're going to take us through.
Okay. So this is a meditation to connect you to your own power state, to your own inner glow, if you will, and just to create more space and ease. on the inside. Should I just start now?
Sure, proceed.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So, all right, our lovely listener. Hopefully you're in a comfortable position, and go ahead and close your eyes and just relax into a natural breathing pattern. So there's no need to have any kind of fancy or forced breathing other than what you just do naturally, but just notice the air going into your chest and the air leaving. Just natural in and out. And maybe make any micro adjustments as needed to create a little more ease. You might yawn, do a little stretch, sigh, roll your shoulders, whatever might increase your comfort. And just keep breathing naturally without any effort. And just enjoy coming home to you just for these few minutes. Keep breathing. You're at home in your body. You're just trying to make this home a little bit better place to be. And now build an awareness of where the breath goes inside your body. So you can feel your chest expand, and just notice the air filling your lungs and then leaving. You can feel the breath energetically filling your whole body, if you wish, down into your belly. The breath is offering life. You use it and you offer it back. And now notice where you feel open and relaxed in your body. Is there a tightness in your jaw? If so, maybe try to relax it a little bit. But where are you feeling most relaxed? Is it in your feet, in your hips, your shoulders, belly? And once you find a place where your body feels most open and relaxed, see if you can expand that relaxation to include a greater portion of yourself. So you want to find where you're most open, and with the breath going into that area, just expanding. The goal is to make it open up into your whole body, being more relaxed than before. So breathe, expand the relaxation, and just enjoy what comes with being more open and relaxed. A softness, settling in. Become more aware of your depth. There's more to you than just some organs, skin and bones, but there's a depth, and there's a country down inside you that is wonderful to visit. Notice that there's currents of energy inside your body. And the currents of energy can flow with the breath. They can swirl. Just keep feeling beneath and beyond words. Just the currents of energy, the breath moving around. Perhaps there's some inner weather, an inner weather pattern swirling about. That's okay. And your body may offer a message or an emotion from a particular area, and just intend that you're open to whatever message a given part of your body may have for you. You can imagine a grounding cord. I like to use a column of golden light that I'm sitting on top of. So it's as big around as my hips, and it goes down into the earth. It just connects as a column of golden light to the earth itself, to me, connected. Some people like a tree root or whatever works for you, but just anchor yourself down into the earth. And it's almost not so much something you can create as something you can notice that's there, and just say, oh, grounding cord activated. You can feel the gravity that holds you to where you sit, and let that be a grounding element. Just keep feeling into your body. There's no rush. Breathe naturally. And now, as the air enters your body with your inhalation, imagine it entering you as light, as golden light. Give the air a color. You may prefer blue or gold or some other color, and that's just totally fine. But just imagine that light filling your body. Think of it turning on your cells like little lamps. As you breathe in, those little lamps are turning on. It's turning on your light, your essence, your joy, your happiness about being you. As those cells light up, they imagine them vibrating with happiness. And include all the organs in your body as little collections of lit up cells, infusing light everywhere. You're making your body a really good place to be. You might remind yourself with a soul statement such as, I am a loved child of God. Or I can breathe love in and feel it calm me. Another soul statement is, love gives me space. Just keep breathing love in. And most especially, allow your heart to light up as that collection of little cellular lamps, just lighting up. And there is a beloved that dwells within you, centered in your heart. Say hello to that beloved. If you're unfamiliar with this one, you might say, hello. I remember you. I love you. Just imagine that your heart has been beating before you were even born, supporting you and loving you, making life possible. Think of your heart as an inner beloved that's being activated like a little candle of love. You might remind your heart that you have a sacred contract now in this moment to love and to loving. If it feels like something you want to do, offer your heart a little commitment to not abandoning him or her again, but just speaking up, that you'll use your voice in honoring your heart and what your heart needs, and of coming back and revisiting your loving, beautiful heart. Just a few more moments to feel your beautiful heart as a beloved that is always there for you. And now just gently come back to yourself and the room or the vehicle that you're in. Open your eyes as you wish. Another deep breath. And we're back.
Mm-hmm. Corey, that is a beautiful breathe in love meditation. Can you just highlight the benefits? And because I know our listeners are going to return back to that beautiful breathe in love meditation that will be on demand after the show. Just highlight briefly your thoughts about that for our listeners.
Thank you, Dr. Jean. Well, I really, truly believe that this heart is like an inner beloved, and we do well when we honor and pay attention and connect with our own heart. And as I said earlier, it's a trusted guide. It will tell you the truth. And the same creator who made our mind, made our body, in all the parts. And we were given this heart, this sacred, holy heart by the creator. And what an amazing gift.
Yeah.
And it's like in Tantra, we learn to hold this holy sacrament in our heart, this holy sacrament of life and of being right here, right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So true. Beautiful, beautiful meditation. Well, Corey, tell about your programs and services and how people can actually connect with you.
Well, I'm primarily focused on my coaching practice, and so I have a website, corerelationship.com, there's a page specifically about the soul statements, the book, and there's a couple dozen blog articles that I've written, and then there's pages about my actual coaching and my approach and all that. And so some of the common questions I might get with coaching clients are, I want better communication. I want to move beyond tension with my partner, or how do I prepare myself to meet someone and not repeat the same old, BS patterns that I've done every other time. I get that a lot. Somebody that wants to prepare themselves to do it better. Or how can I better understand my partner and respond in an empowered way that's not destructive
Yes.
or causing more wounding? How can I improve my self-care as a busy person? And then I have people that come to me and just say, I want to feel alive in my body.
Yes.
Or how do we return to sex and intimacy after a multi-year sex drought? That's really common, is we love each other and our kids are a little older now. And how do we return to loving and intimacy? How do we begin? So those are the things I hear often.
Mm. Very profound questions. And I'm sure the listeners, there are many out there who are asking those same questions. And we invite listeners to visit Corey's website and get access to your book. Tell us a little bit about your book before we move toward closing.
Yeah, I wrote this book
all right
because I started hearing myself say a lot of the same things to different coaching clients. And I thought, man, I should write this down. And so here it is.
All right.
And yeah.
And it's available, on Amazon? And I think information about Corey's book is available on his website. And I think we're kind of moving toward closing. But I would like to say thank you, Corey, so much. I love to invite you back to Love Light. Your work is so profound and in depth. We invite listeners to listen back on demand and share our show with others. Thank you so much, Corey.
Thank you, Dr. Jean.
All right. And much gratitude to the Voice America team for making the show a reality and for shining their love light around the world. And as Corey states, expect your capacity to love and care for yourselves to expand as you powerfully connect to your wisdom and values. Know thyself and be true to thine own self. Embrace your divinity and magnificence. Shed faulty beliefs, outworn patterns, feelings of unworthiness. You are love at your very core. Return to your natural state of love, peace, and joy. This is who you really are. This is Dr. Jean Marie, your Love Light host, coming to you from Voice America. And until we meet again, remember, an empowered self is a loving self, and keep your love light shining. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for listening to Love Light this week. Be sure to join Dr. Jean Marie Farish again for another program next Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and noon Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a wonderful week filled with love, self-worth, and better connections.